announcements, and now let's continue our discussion on advanced phone features. In this video I'm going to show you how to configure vMix locator and system recordings and announcements and IVR, or what is known as digital receptionist. First, vMix locator is just like a mini IVR system, configurable by the user to improve user reachability when the user unavailable or busy. So the IVR system, or the IVR announcement, which will be your recorded voicemail greeting, will guide the incoming caller where to go to reach this user when this user unavailable or busy. To configure vMix locator, I'm now connected to my Asterisk server, and now go to extensions and choose the extension you want to enable this feature for. I'm going to choose extension 1001, and here you can see vMix locator by default it's disabled, so enable this feature. You can configure these settings on behalf of the user, but I don't want to do that. I want to give the user the ability to make this configuration changes by himself and submit and apply your configuration. And here it's telling you that all these settings are controlled by the user in the user portal. So now let's go to the user portal for extension 1001, and you can see here vMix locator, and choose when you want to enable this feature, when you are unavailable or when you are busy. And keep in mind, when choosing any of these two settings, you should record your unavailable message and or your busy message. So here you can configure the destinations that the incoming caller will be forwarded to when you are unavailable or busy. You can forward the caller can press 0, and he will be forwarded to the operator. You can choose a custom destination, maybe extension 1003, and you can add other destinations here if you want. So keep in mind that I told you that vMix locator is just like a mini IVR system, but it's only limited to 3 destinations, which means you can configure more than 3 destinations. And the announcements that the caller will hear when you are unavailable or busy, you need to record this. You need to record this by overriding your default voicemail greeting, and re-recording your voicemail greeting to tell the user, hey, press 1 or press 0 for extension 1003, and press 1 to go to this destination, press 2 to go to this destination, and so on and so forth. Now I'm going to enable vMix locator when to work when I'm unavailable. So uncheck this, and now I need to record my unavailable message, and I'm going to configure the first destination, extension 1003. That's my Ubuntu, my soft phone on my Ubuntu virtual machine, and you can add other destinations if you want. Keep in mind, when using vMix locator, you are limited to 3 destinations, so update, and it will work like this. When this extension, or when receiving an inbound call and you are unavailable, the unavailable message will be played back to the caller, and after that the recorded voicemail greeting will be played back after the voicemail message, or after the unavailable message, telling the user, hey, press 1 or press 0 for extension 1003, press 1 for extension 1004, press 2 for extension 1005. Now we need to record our unavailable message, and we need to re-record our personal greeting to include these instructions and these destinations. So to access your voicemail, it's easy. The password. and I want to show you something. I believe you saw this before in a previous video, and it's the default menu, the default voicemail menu when accessing your voicemail using your phone. I'm going to interrupt this menu and bypass the menu and interrupt the menu by pressing 0 for advanced options, and I'm going to go press 1 to record my unavailable message immediately, and after recording and saving my unavailable message, I'm going to re-record my temporary greeting and override this temporary greeting to include these instructions here and map these instructions to these destinations. So let's redial again.
Password. You have 9 new messages. Press 1.
Okay, press 0 for advanced options and press 1 to record your unavailable message.
After the tone, say your unavailable message and then press the pound key.
I'm unavailable now. You can follow the vMix locator instructions to reach me.
Thank you. Press 1 to accept this recording. Press 2 to listen to it. Press Press 1 to accept this recording. Press 2 to your message has been
Now let's modify our temporary greeting to include these instructions or these digits and these destinations.
Press 2 to record your busy message. Press 3 to record your name. Press 1 to record your temporary greeting. Or press 2 to erase your temporary greeting. After the tone, say your temporary message and then press the pound key.
Press 0 for extension 1003, press 1 for extension 1004, press 2 for extension 1005.
Thank you. Press 1 to accept this recording. Press 2 to listen to it. Press 3 to
Press 0 for extension 1003, press 1 for extension 1004, press 2 for extension 1005.
press 1 to accept.
Now let's hang up. Now the configuration is done, and I want to explain to you how this will work when this extension 1001 that we will enable vMix locator 4 is receiving an incoming call and this extension unavailable. The unavailable message will be played back to the caller, and after that the new voicemail recording will be played back to the caller after the unavailable message, telling the caller, hey, press 0 to go for this extension, press 1 for this extension, press 2 for this extension. So let's test this and show you this in action, and I have a surprise for you. Actually, a bad surprise. Now I'm going to dial extension 1001, and I will not answer the call here, just to simulate an available state and trigger vMix locator to work and simulate an available state, and now we should hear the unavailable message followed by the new voicemail greeting. And I am going to test this by pressing 0, and when pressing 0 we should be forwarded to this destination, this soft phone that has extension 1003. And nothing, really nothing. It will not forward us to this extension even we pressed 0, but it will not work. Why? Because by default vMix locator is not working on Asterisk. It has a bug, and even the unavailable or the busy message will not work on Asterisk by default, because you can see here there is no option to use vmix allocator for the temporary greeting, and it doesn't work on the temporary greeting. So the temporary greeting will not work by default, and even the unavailable or busy messages will not work in many circumstances. So keep this in mind. These features have bugs, so it will not work by default. But here is the configuration steps that you need to know to configure these features. Now let's talk about another feature that it's working in Asterisk. It doesn't has bugs, so it's working fine, and these three features are working with Asterisk fine without any problem. System recordings, usually system recordings will be used to record to your Asterisk server. You can record to Asterisk using one of two ways: direct recording or using a pre-recorded material. Direct recording, you will use your phone and connect to your Asterisk server and use your phone and record directly to FreeBBX, and after finishing the recording, you can now save your message to Asterisk or FreeBBX. Pre-recorded material, you can, if you have a wave file or an audio file, you can upload this to Asterisk, and Asterisk will and after that you can use this pre-recorded material for whatever you want to use. But keep in mind, the system recordings will not be used alone, which I mean, you will not say, hey, I want to create system recordings because I want to create system recordings. No, it's not like this. You'll use system recordings to configure announcements or for IVR configuration. So keep this in mind. And now direct recording. Let's close this and let's disable this feature. It's not working. Now go to admin system recordings, and here you can see if you wish to make and verify recordings from your phone, direct recording, enter your extension number, the number or the extension of the phone you will use to record directly to your FreeBBX. I'm going to use this phone and it has extension 1001. So, and now you can use this phone to record directly to your Asterisk server. Now it's telling you you need to dial this feature code and pick the message you wish to record, and when finished, just press pound. That's my first recorded message.
To listen to, press 1. To be recorded, press star, followed by pound.
Okay, that's fine. Now step 2, you need to verify this recording if you want. You can and it's optional, it's not mandatory. You can dial this feature code to listen and verify your recording, and also you can still have the ability to re-record your message if you want. But let's verify this recording. Okay, now time to save this recording to your Asterisk server. You can here choose the name that you want to choose for this recording. Maybe my first recording. Okay, that's fine. And your recording will be added here. And you can remove this recording from Asterisk if you want, and you can play this in your browser if you have the required plugins. I don't. Or you can download this to your desktop and you can delete this if you want. So very simple. Another way to configure recordings, you can use a pre-recorded material and upload this pre-recorded material here to your asterisk or FreeBBX. But keep in mind, for asterisk or for FreeBBX to recognize and be able to play these recordings, it should meet this criteria here and should has these attributes. Should be the bit resolution, and by the way, these attributes, it's called or named codec information. This codec information, the bit resolution should be 16-bit, and sampling rate should be 8000 Hz pulse width modulation, and the audio channel should be mono, not stereo. So what if we are trying to upload and use a pre-recorded audio WAV file that doesn't meet this criteria here? Simply Asterisk will not be able to recognize this recording. Asterisk will not be able to play this recording when using this recording for announcements or IVR or whatever you want to use this announcements for. So how you can check for this attributes? It's very simple. I have a pre-recorded sample. I have a very simple audio file here. First, I want you to hear to this announcement.
I can give you information about your checking account or your savings account. Hi, I'm your personal.
Now, to check for these attributes, you need to go to Tools and Codec Information. Always look for Codec Information, and now it's going to tell you the codec pulse width modulation 16 bits, that's fine. The audio channel mono, not stereo, that's fine. But look, the sample rate is not 8000 Hz, it's more than or higher than 8000 Hz, and the bit per sample, which is the bit resolution 16-bit. Okay, that's fine. But now the sample rate higher than 8000 Hz. So when using this pre-recorded recording and uploading this to FreeBBX, and when using this recording as announcement or for IVR, you will hear nothing. You will hear nothing because Asterisk or FreeBBX will not be able to play this to you. So let's approve this and show you how to solve this problem. Upload, and here is the name. Save this. It will be added here. And now let's go to announcements and recording. Choose your recording, and what is the destination that will use this recording, this announcement? You can configure the destination as extension, which mean before dialing this extension 1001, this announcement will be played back to the caller before connecting the call to extension 1001. Another scenario you can use announcements for, you can use announcements when using or when configuring a recorded conference, and here you can record your conference by choosing yes, and you can choose a custom join message to say hey, for people or the conference members when joining the conference, to tell them that this conference is recorded. It would be something like, hey, just be careful, this conference is recorded, so don't say anything that will violate the organization policy. This is considered to be another scenario you can use announcements for. But let's keep it simple, and I'm going to assign this announcement or this recording that will be used as announcement. I'm going to assign this to extension 1002. So before dialing this extension or before connecting the call to extension 1001, the caller should hear this announcement played back to him. And the description, bank assistant okay, bank assistant announcement, that's fine. You can choose to give the caller the ability to repeat the announcement more than one time, and you can here configure the digit that he will need to press to repeat this announcement. You can also give the caller the ability to skip the announcement if you want, and you can integrate this with IVR, and you can configure do not answer channels. So your configuration and apply your configuration. To test this configuration, you need to modify your inbound route destination and assign this configuration, the announcement configuration, here in your set destination section, like this, and apply. And now we need to simulate an inbound call, and this inbound call will go directly to the announcement configuration. But the question now again, just not to forget, do you think FreeBBX will be able to play this recording? I don't think so. Why? Because it doesn't meet this criteria here. Yes, it's 16-bit resolution, yes, it's mono channel, but the sampling rate higher than 8000 hertz. So I'm going to approve this to you. I'm going to approve that FreeBBX will not be able to play any recordings that don't meet this criteria here. Then I'm going to show you how to solve this problem. Now let's simulate an incoming call, and okay, extension 1001, that's my soft phone here, so I don't like to simulate an inbound call to my extension, so I'm going to change this to extension 1002, which is this soft phone. And now okay, see that it will immediately connect the call to the destination here, and FreeBBX will not be able to play this announcement. So we need to convert this recording, this pre-recorded recording, and apply these attributes and upload the recording again and test this process again to see the difference. So very simple. You can get around this and solve this problem, and to convert your media. Just visit Online Convert, one of the most popular well-known websites that will help you to convert your media from a format to another. So audio converter, and go to convert to wave, and go, and now choose your recording, bank assistant welcome message, and here's the bit resolution, should be 16-bit, and the sampling rate should be 8000 hertz, uncompressed audio, and the audio channel should be mono, not stereo. These two configuration settings are optional. And now it's going to show you the conversion process. Now download. I'm going to download the new version or the converted recording to this bus here, to this folder, and download. And now let's be sure that our recording now have these attributes applied, and check for the codec information again. Tools, codec information, and now you see the sampling rate. Now it's 1000 hertz, and the audio channel mono and not stereo, and the bit resolution 16-bit, and the codec postcode modulation and compressed audio. That's fine. Now Asterisk or FreeBBX should be able to recognize and play this recording when using this recording for announcements or for IVR. Go to system recordings and upload the new converted recording and save will be added here. Now go to announcements and replace the old recording by the new converted version and submit your changes and apply your configuration. And now let's test again, and now we should hear, or FreeBX should be able to play this recording back to anyone that is trying to dial extension 1002.
Hi, I'm your personal banking assistant. I can give you information about your checking account or your savings account.
Now it's working perfect. Here is you can skip this announcement if you want, and you can repeat this announcement, and here is the digit that the caller need to press to repeat this announcement. Will work like this.
Hi, I'm your
Press
personal
1 to repeat this announcement.
I can give you Hi, I'm your personal banking assistant. I can give you information. Hi, I'm
So
your personal banking assistant. I can give you information. Hi.
will give you the ability to repeat the announcement more than one time before connecting the call to this extension. Again, just to keep in mind, you can use announcements for many scenarios. As I told you before, a recorded conference, you can record the conference. You can choose to configure a custom join message that will be played back to the conference member before joining the conference to tell the conference members just be careful, the conference is recorded, so don't say anything that will violate the organization policy. Now let's talk about IVR. IVR, also known as digital receptionist or auto attendant. IVR will work like this. When receiving an inbound call, a menu tree will be played back to the caller, asking the caller, hey, press 1 for HR, press 2 for marketing, press 3 for technical support, or you can bypass the IVR menu and dial your extension directly if you know the destination you want to reach to. So to configure IVR, you can use a pre-recorded material. I have a really simple IVR for banking choices. I want you to hear this.
For checking, press 1. For savings, press 2. For IRA accounts, press 3. For checking.
Before using also this recording for the IVR configuration, also you need to check for the codec information. Again, the sampling rate higher than 8000, so we need to convert this and apply this attributes here for BBX to be able to play this IVR to the callers. So now let's download this to this folder, and you can see the converted version here. And now let's check again for the codec information, just to be sure that the sampling rate is 1000 Hz. That's fine. Now let's upload this. Now we don't need online convert anymore, so let's close this. And now back to system recordings, add your or upload your converted IVR version and upload and save and it will be added here. And now go to IVR configuration and add IVR, and here you can choose the announcement that will be played back to the callers when using IVR. And here the destinations or the digits that the external caller will press, and the destinations that the external caller will be forwarded to when pressing a specific digit. I want to play the IVR backing choices again, just to show you something.
For press 1. For savings, press 2. For IRA accounts, press 3.
Now I want you to keep this in mind. The IVR menu, this IVR menu, it's talking about 3 destinations. The first destination for checking, the second destination for savings, the third destination for IRA accounts. I'm not sure what really are IRA accounts. I don't have bank account. Hopefully you have, but it's talking about 3 destinations. So you need to configure this here. You need to configure this 3 destinations, and if your menu tree or IVR menu has more than 3 destinations, you can add more destinations here, and these destinations could be extensions. So when the external caller is trying to press maybe for example 1, he will be forwarded to extension 1001, or this destination could be an announcement that will be played back to the caller after pressing this digit, or could be could be a voicemail, or could be or could be a call termination way, which means if the external caller is trying to press 1, it will terminate the call immediately. But usually and most of the time it will be an extension. So let's and you can see here digits pressed. It will be the digits that the external caller need to press to reach these destinations. I'm going to configure digits from 1 to 3, 1 to 3, and the destinations will be extensions like this, since I have only 3 destinations on my IVR menu. The first destination will be extension 1003. That's my soft phone here on my Ubuntu virtual machine, and the second destination will be extension 1002. That's this soft phone, and 1002. So if the external caller is trying to press 1, he would be forwarded to extension 1003, and so on and so forth. A direct dial, really a nice feature that will enable the external caller to bypass the IVR menu and interrupt the IVR menu and dial any extension or any internal extension if he know the number of the internal user he want to reach to. You can enable this if you want, and this configuration settings, I know, but it's not hard. Maybe you will look at this and think that it's complex, but really it's not complex at all. I have something for you. I created this by myself, so I hope you appreciate that. And this took from me really a long time to create this. This will help you to understand IVR behavior, and when the user when making invalid retry or a timeout retry. And by the word invalid retry, I mean the external or the caller will press a digit that is not configured here in our IVR configuration. Now the IVR menu will ask the user here for checking press 1, for savings press 2, for IRA accounts press 3. But what if the user or the caller didn't press any of these digits and pressed maybe any digit that's not configured here, maybe 5, 6, whatever. Now it's considered to be an invalid retry, and the maximum invalid retries 3 times by default, and after each invalid retry IVR will play the invalid retry recording back to the caller. And you can, very nice feature that should be the default but it's not, you can append the original announcement after each invalid retry, which means you can say, hey, FreeBBX, when receiving any invalid retry from the caller, please play the invalid retry recording, and after that play the IVR menu again back to the caller. So very nice feature. And after here you can see the maximum threshold for the invalid retry is 3 by default, which means at the 4th invalid retry the IVR system will not accept this and will play the invalid recording before forwarding you to your invalid destination, and will say, hey, I will not accept any invalid retries anymore, and I'm going to forward you to your last resort, your invalid destination, which could be also an extension or whatever, but usually it will the invalid destination will terminate the call, and you can choose the way that you want to terminate the call. You can send a congestion message or a congestion signal back to the caller, or a busy signal back to the caller, or you can use a normal hang up. And the same thing when the IVR choice times out, which means IVR will wait 10 seconds by default for the caller to make a choice. After 10 seconds, now it's considered to be a timeout retry, and the maximum timeout retry threshold 3 times by default, and after 3 times, at the 4th time the IVR system will play the timeout retry recording back to the caller, or I'm sorry, will play back the timeout recording back to the caller, and say, hey, I will not accept any timeout retries anymore, and I'm going to forward you to your timeout destination, which is considered to be your last resort. And again, will most of the time configure this timeout destination to hang up the call. Now let's submit this configuration, and now let's choose a name for this configuration. IVR banking choices, that's fine. Apply your configuration and submit. Apply. Now to test your IVR configuration again, you need to change the inbound route configuration and set your IVR configuration as a destination. Here we have only one IVR configuration, so submit and apply your configuration. Back to our IVR configuration. Now let's simulate an inbound call, and this inbound call should go to IVR, and I'm going to test this by pressing 1, and when pressing 1 it should forward us to extension 1003, which is my soft phone on my virtual machine.
For checking, press 1. For savings, press 2. For IRA accounts, press 3.
Now it's working fine. That's nice. Let's hang up, and let's try to make an invalid retry. Invalid retry, which means we will press a digit that's not configured in our IVR configuration, and show you what will happen. It should play
For
the
checking,
invalid retry
press
recording.
1. For savings, press 2. For
We have not.
valid response.
That's the invalid
Please
retry
try
recording,
again.
and you can make invalid retries for 3 times,
We have not received a valid response.
like this.
Please try again.
That's the 3rd time.
We have not received a valid response. Please try again.
At the 4th time, it's going to play the invalid recording and forward you to this destination,
We have not received a valid response.
which will terminate the
Please
call.
wait while we connect your call.
Now that's the invalid recording, and the invalid destination will terminate the call. The same thing when your IVR choice times out. The same thing. Now I want to show you the direct dial feature. It's enabled by default, which means that the external caller can bypass and interrupt the IVR menu and dial any internal extension. But let's disable this first and show you the difference between enabling and disabling this feature. Now let's redial again, and we will try to dial extension 1002. That's my soft phone, while this feature is disabled, and see if FreeBBX will give us this ability, and I don't think so, since it's disabled.
For checking, press 1.
Now let's try to dial extension
Press
1002.
2. For
and
IRA
2.
accounts, press
Now see that once you press the first digit, it will not give you much time to dial more than one digit. It will process the first digit and consider this digit as an IVR choice and forward you to the destination configured here. But when enabling direct dial, it will wait a short period of time to see should I consider this digit an IVR choice, or you will type more digits and dial an internal extension.
For checking, press 1. For savings,
It will wait to see, and okay, a really short period of time. So let's do this quickly,
for checking, press
like this. I'm going to and it will ring this phone. So simply direct dial will give you the ability to bypass and interrupt the IVR menu and dial any internal extension if you know the destination you want to reach to. So very simple, and append origin announcement. Let's show you this in action. I told you this feature will play the main IVR menu again after making any invalid retry. So very helpful for the caller.
for checking.
Let's make an invalid retry, and it should play this main IVR menu again.
We have not received a valid response. Please try again.
Now it should play, yes, like this.
For
So it will play the IVR menu again after making any invalid retry. That's fine. Now I should and before ending this video, I want you to pay attention to this, because this will help you so much to understand the IVR behavior and how IVR will react to the caller when making an invalid retry or timeout retry. So keep this in mind. And now that's all you need to know about IVR, and I should end this video and say goodbye and see you in a next video. So thank you.